most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family. Never forgetting where we came from.
Whoa! What's going on, everybody? It is officially here, the new year. You waited all year for this. 2015. We're on officially a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody! You now are rolling with a D in 2015. We've literally crossed over from 2014 to 2015. I hear the fireworks going off wherever you are at. If you're in Times Square, the ball is officially dropped. People are kissing each other in the face, passing around all kinds of STDs right about now. How's it going out there, everybody? Just wanted to wish you guys a happy new year. Be able to say, be safe. I hope you're out there having fun. I hope you're out there being safe. Gonna be kicking it here in the studio for a little bit. Got the shrimp and cocktail sauce going on over here. A little shrimp cocktail. Got a little bit of Awake in the studio. It's been a great year for Awake. Our energy drink. It's given us the vitamins that we need, minus all of the garbage, minus all of the sugar, minus all of the calories. Just some pure, beautiful, uninterrupted energy. And in the background, I got fireworks blasting off. Probably got someone calling 911 right about now. Somebody's fingers are probably on fire. Got to be careful with the fireworks. It's not even 4th of July yet, but you know, people are going crazy. I was at the store earlier tonight and I saw this young guy he just looked like he was about to blow his hands off. He had this huge case of fireworks. He's getting ready to go do something scary. It's been a great year, people. It's been a great year. Rolling with the D. It's been exciting. A lot of cool things have happened and a lot of cool things are going to happen. So I wanted to check in with you right at the top of the year, kind of set the pace, set the tone for the year. Got lots of exciting information and things to come. Can't wait to share it with you guys. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it's officially January 1st, 2015. The time, 12:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that are in LA, you still got a few hours. If you're on the West Coast, you know, you're still chilling. You're still just, some of you probably are still putting on your makeup, figuring out what you're going to wear. What are you going to wear? Trying to figure all that out. Well, we're already over here. We just dropped the ball. Literally. New Year is here. I got my fancy commissioner's hat on. My New Year's hat. Exciting things to come. So we're excited. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit with you. Hanging out with you while we celebrate the new year. And talk about some of the little sneak peek. Nothing crazy, but maybe a little sneak peek. We've got some shrimp cocktail going on. We've got some strawberries, some champagne and the place to be. So I'm excited for 2015. I'm excited. I didn't know I was going to make it. I was exhausted this whole entire week. I thought I was going to doze off. before the ball dropped, before we even got to midnight, but I made it. It's busy today, real busy working, doing some house cleaning, getting things ready for 2015. But I do want to know how your 2015 is going to look. Have you planned it out? Have you even given it any thought? Did your 2014 go according to plan? Or did you let it kind of slip by and now you're like, oh, God, thank God. Yeah, I made it out of that. I made it out of that year. It all depends where you're at. It all depends where you're at. But going to share a little bit of the 2015 kind of mood that I'm in when I come back. You're rolling with the D. This is 2015, our very first show, top of the year, top of the morning. If you're on the West Coast, all of our West Coast followers and fans and crew out there, you guys are still, you're not here yet. We're already in 2015. You're still in 2014, so maybe you'll catch this show. It'll be your last show of 2014, but everyone else, it's on the East Coast, East Side. Throwing up the East Side, you're all in for the 2015, the very first show of the year. So stick with me. This is Sunny D. You're rolling with a D. Happy New Year's, everybody. I'll be right back.
Your morning, your job, your activities throughout the day, they all take a toll on you. Then you have to do it all again, and again, and again. Sometimes you need an extra charge. Awake Energy Shots give your body the boost it needs when you can't afford a letdown. Take charge. Get Awake Energy Shots exclusively at shop.com.
Take any client when you accept credit cards with Square. There's one low rate for every card. And you see money in your bank account as fast as the next business day. Schedule appointments, send text reminders, and learn how to keep clients coming back with real-time sales reports. Take care of your business with Square. Get started for free at square.com.
All right. We're back. So what's going on out there, everybody? You guys ready for this year? You ready for this 2015 extravaganza? Are you ready? All of our peeps out here that have been rolling with the D all year. I'm trying to get into my cockpit here. Everybody that's been rolling with the D all year, really appreciate you guys. We had a lot of fun this year. Got to see a lot, got to do a lot, got to experience a lot, got to really just enjoy an incredible year of growth, an exciting year of growth, and looking forward to another one. That's what this new year is going to be all about. It's going to be about just continuing to grow, continuing to push the envelope. Just got a little bubbly here. Give you guys a little toast. Toast to the new year. And what is the new year gonna mean for you? That's what I'd like to know. Another year is gone, 365 days. And when you start to think about it, 365 days, and you start to do the math on that, what we find out is that you figure you're sleeping how many hours a day? How many hours of sleep a day do you get? Maybe you don't get that many. I know I don't. I'm good if I'm like at 5 or 6 hours. I don't know. I'm like an insomnia. What's it called? Insomnia. I got insomnia. But you figure 365 days. I got my trusty calculator here. We'll do a little math with you guys. 365 days of 2014. If you slept 8 hours a day, that would be 2,920. If you take those 365 days times 8 for each day, 2,920 920 hours of sleep. How many hours do you have? If you look at that 365 days and you've got 24 hours a day, that's 8,760. That's 24. If you think about it, 8,760. So what happens with the time? Where does it go? Well, we already just ate away almost 25% of it. Sleeping. But that's still, we still got enough time. We still got a lot of time left. Even if you take away that sleep time, we say 365 days times 8 hours a day, that was 2,920 that we had for sleeping. So that's about, it's about almost a third of the time. So 8,760 hours you have, 2,920 you slept, right? So almost a third of the time. 30 over 30%, 35% roughly in there, between 30-35% of the time. What else did you do? What else did we do all year? Let's think about it. All right, we worked. So work counts. What does work count for? Let me see if I can figure this thing out real quick. Work probably counts for a big chunk of our entire year. We're working a lot. All right, try not to kill anybody here. So we pop this. Whoa, there it is. Give a toast to all of our Rolling with the D supporters, our fans, our friends, our followers. Have a little New Year's toast to you guys. Cheers to you guys. Happy New Year's. We're in the place to be. You're rolling with the D. 2015, first show of the year. Got a little spumante, a little bubbly. So I'm pretty excited to be here. What we're talking about is the time breakdown. Starting to take a look at this time and really taking a look and seeing how it breaks down. I wanted to do this with you guys. Well, I got you for a minute. If you're in the live show right now, I don't know what to tell you. Get a life. What are you doing? Should be partying, tearing it up, kissing a stranger. It's New Year's Eve. Hopefully you're doing all of the above. But if you are, then congratulations. You're probably one of the few. But if you're listening to this on a replay, then welcome to 2015. And if you're on the West Coast, you're not even there yet. So just continue on about your evening, and we'll talk to you in a few hours. So 365 days, we established that. That was your 2014. And in those 365 days, we got 24 hours a day. So take the 365 times 24. That gives us 8,760 hours. And then if we take that 365 days and we times that by 8 hours a day, because you slept, 8 hours a day. Maybe. Most of you didn't. But we'll just say, if you did, then that would be 2,920 hours there. So what do we have left? 8,760 minus 2,920. We're left with 5,840 hours. Now, if you worked, hopefully, you were contributing to society. You weren't You weren't leeching off of it. If you were working, like most of us were, say you were holding down a full-time job, 40 hours a week. So what does that look like? And you probably worked at least a solid 50 weeks, weeks in the normal realm of things. Where do those other 2 weeks go? Well, think about it. You got your New Year's Day, your Christmas Day, your 4th of July, your Easter, your whatever other days you celebrate, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. So you lose about a week there, maybe took a few days off here or there. So that eats up about 2 of those weeks. So we'll give you 50 weeks on the books. So if you take those 50 weeks and you times that by 40 hours a week, that's 2,000. 2,000 hours. Oh, look at those fireworks. You guys hear that? Sounds like Independence Day out here. Yeah, somebody's blowing their fingers off right now. So you slept for 2,920 hours. Then you had 5,840 hours left. And then if you worked, 40 hours a week, then that gave you 2,000 hours of work. If you did that, hopefully you worked at least 50 weeks. At least 50 weeks, unless you were really slacking. Maybe you came down with some god-awful disease. Hopefully you didn't, and you had to take more time off. But at 50 weeks, 40 hours a week, that's 2,000 hours of work. So let's see where we're at now. So you've got, out of that 5,840 hours, we're going to take away 2,000 hours for work. That gives us 3,840 hours that you have left. So now what? 3,840 hours. What did you do with those hours? That's what we have to think about. We have to think about that, because here's the reality. You either are where you want to be right now or you're not. It's 2015. You either are there or you're not. Me personally, on a personal note, I'm definitely not where I want to be. So I look at those 3,840 hours, and I think, I slept less than 8 hours. So that means if I slept less than 8 hours, and I know I worked more than 40 hours a week. So when I start doing my math, I probably got more than 3,840 hours left. I don't know about you, but I mean, that's if you're sleeping, 8 hours a night. If you were fortunate enough to sleep 8 hours a night, you got 2,920 hours of sleep at 8 hours a night. And then you had 5,840 hours left. And if you worked 40 hours a week, 50 weeks out of the year, that's 2,000 hours of work. You were left with 3,840 hours. What did you do with that time? Where did it all go? The bigger thing, though, that I want you to think about is you're going to kind of have the same situation. It's going to be the same setup. You're going to have the same setup going into 2015. So think about that. You got the same setup, 2015. You're going to be sitting pretty with 3,840 hours potentially. If you got the idea set up and you started, sleeping 8 hours a night, and you were working 40 hours a week. You had those 2 weeks off, combination of, you had the sniffles a couple days, whatever it was, plus the holidays that they already gave you off, left you, in a few days you took off, left you with 50 weeks of work. But really what it left you with was 3,840 hours. And in there, what do you got to fit in there? You got to fit in, the essentials: eating, bathing, and whatever else you want to put in there. But 3,840 hours. And I call that hours, those hours that you have left, I call those hours to produce. So those are the hours you have to produce. Now, what are you going to be producing in those 3,840 hours? You're going to be producing health. That's going to be a big one, right? So that's going to be your eating, your exercising, your physical fitness. Those things are going to be produced in there. You're also going to produce wealth. So that's going to be what you're doing with the income that you're earning, or what you're doing with, if you're working at a job or you own a business and you're working on making profits, what you're doing with that. And then the last one's going to be relationships. So you're going to be producing in that 3,840 hours, you're going to have to produce health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. So now as you look back at 2014, the question inevitably becomes, what did you produce for 2014? Right? Acknowledge. We talked about that a couple shows ago, acknowledging where you're at. Got to get real with that first. And then we could talk about, you can start thinking about where you're going. So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about right now. I know I'm getting heavy. Quick, right? Right out the gate. Didn't even wait till the very first day. I'm hitting you at 12:20. Heavy stuff. Stuff that'll keep you up at night. Try one of these little shrimp cocktails over here. Stuff that will keep you up at night. These are pretty good. So produce. That's what I want you guys to be thinking about. I'll recap that for you real quick. If you're on the podcast, maybe you're out there jogging or driving or however you're listening to this, pull over and write these numbers down real quick. This is imperative that you get this. This is your year. January 1st, 2015. It's 12:21 a.m. It's time to strategize. It's time to come up with a plan. It's time to stop fooling yourself. It's time to stop kidding yourself. Get the equation. Do the math. Keep it simple. You got 365 days. We're going to break it down by time. You're starting with a bank, 8,760 total hours. Going to give you 8 hours of sleep per day. That's 2,920 hours of sleep. What you're left with after you snoozed it off and you rested, you're left with 5,840 hours. You got to work. You got to have a job. You have a business. If you have a business, you're going to be putting in more than 40 hours. That's just the stone cold truth. If you don't have a business, if you're working for the man or you're working someone else's plan, you're a part of another team, that's fine. Maybe you're putting in 40 hours a week, normal work day, whatever it is. Average on that, you're going to work 50 weeks out of the year. So you're pushing 2,000 hours. So we're going to take that away from what hours you had left. So that 5,840 hours, we took away 2,000 for working. You're left with 3,840 hours. Now, here it is. That's what you're left with in the bank. And those hours that you're left with are going to be your hours to produce 3 things. The 3 main things that everyone is responsible for producing. And you're producing it whether you really like it or not. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples about that. But the 3 things that you're left with to produce, whether you like it or not, Number 1 is going to be health. Number 2 is going to be wealth. And number 3 is going to be relationships. And I'm going to touch on the 3 of those, give you a couple ideas, talk to you a little bit about how I'm looking at it and how I'm thinking about it. And we're going to take a quick break. This is January 1st, 2015. Happy New Year. You're rolling with the D, where we hack the Bob, the business of beauty. Coming to you live right out the gate. First show of the year, setting the pace, setting the tone, setting the table. Stick with me. I'll be right back. We're going to talk about those 3 key areas and give you a couple ideas on how to look at those and how to become, ultimately, how to become a producer. So stick with me. You're rolling with the D. Happy New Year, special edition. I'll be right back.
Client when you accept credit cards with Square. There's one low rate for every card, and you see money in your bank account as fast as the next business day. Schedule appointments, send text reminders, and learn how to keep clients coming back with real-time sales reports. Take care of your business with Square. Get started for free at square.com.
Your morning, your job, your activities throughout the day. They all take a toll on you. Then you have to do it all again, and again, and again. Sometimes you need an extra charge. Awake Energy Shots give your body the boost it needs when you can't afford a letdown. Take charge. Get Awake Energy Shots exclusively at shop.com.
Exclusively at shop.com. Get your awakes. Have you had your awake yet? We've been crushing these things. It's got me off of coffee. I'm not all caffeinated these days. Loving that. Loving that. That's what happens with coffee. You know, you just get the acid. You get, you just want a little pick me up, and then, we doctor it up, put tons of sugar in it. Next thing you know, you're wired. After a couple hours, you feel like you're about to slip into a coma. Then you crash. And you feel like crap. With these guys, there's none of that. So, I invite you to try those out. Get yourself an awake shot. And you see this? You see the clock here? Moving it out there for you guys. Boom. The first show of the year. You're rolling with the D. We popped some champagne. We popped a little. We got the strobe going on. We officially made it into 2015. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you guys are ready for an incredible year. Hope you guys are ready to tear it up. I know I am. Excited. Really excited about this year. Excited about what's going on. Excited about rolling with the D. Excited about the projects. Checking on the Twitter sphere right now. Twitter's it's heavy. It's heavy. Everyone's dropping in. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. What was your favorite? What was your favorite part of 2014? What was one of the highlights? I mean, we had a year, didn't we? We had a year. I mean, there was some. I mean, sports and business and everything, politics, and the world was just going crazy, as it does every year. I mean, we saw a lot going on. What was your favorite? What was your favorite thing you saw this year? What was something you were shocked to see this year? right? This summer we had how about the World Cup? Everyone was shocked to see what didn't happen, what they thought was going to happen with our Brazil, our host country. They really ate it on that one. And it's like they didn't even show up. You guys are hosts. It's like the host. You didn't even being a bad host. I couldn't believe what happened with them. We had some exciting things happen. If you have something you want to share, drop in here. We're monitoring the feed. If you're online right now, we could check it out. If you hit me up on Facebook, check you out on there. Everyone's excited. Everyone's dropping in all of their Happy New Years. Got people, posting pictures with their with the fireworks. Be careful with those fireworks. I got these knuckleheads out here. I know somebody, has already probably lost at least one person's lost some fingers already. It happens every year. Because somebody's not paying attention. Next thing you know, you thought it was lit. I didn't know it was lit. You thought it was lit. Nobody knew. And next thing you know, pop, pop, pop. And next thing you know, you're in trouble. So, Feliz Año Nuevo to all my Hispanos. Happy New Year. You're rolling with a D. You're in the place to be. Hope everyone's having a great beginning to their year. We just got this thing started. It's 12:30 a.m. January 1st, 2015. Got to get used to saying that, right? 2015. It's like you got to, for the first 2 weeks, you're going to be like, every time you write the date, you're all jacked up. I know I am. Usually even more for the first probably for the first month. Be messing everything up, signing documents, legal tenders. So yeah, for that first little bit, you get used to it. You know how it is. You get used to signing because you just got used to writing the 4 at the end. And now it's like, all right, now I got to start writing 5 at the end. So, but this is a solid year. I mean, even just when you see the number, when you see the 2015, it just looks strong. It looks solid. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited to see everything that's going to happen. And I wanted to come in. I wanted to come in and check in with you at the top of the hour, right at the beginning of the year. I wanted to come in, check in with you, just give you a little kind of stimulation, just to get the year rolling for you, get it started. Just wanted to get it started right for you. And the biggest thing that we have, our number one commodity that we have, the one thing that we're not getting more of, the one thing that, kind of the equalizer is what we're talking about, the equalizer of all mankind. And that the equalizer, what makes us all equal, what levels us all out. Right? I'm 6'4", right? You might be 5'1". So I've got you on height, right? We get on a basketball court. I mean, I'm not no NBA, I'm no star, but it's probably not going to go well for you. We can agree on that. There is no equality there when it comes to my height. If you're 5'1" and I'm 6'4", there's no equality there. But the beautiful thing is we are all equal when it comes to time. Nobody, not me at 6'4", you at 5'1", or if somebody taller than me, or if you can run the 40-yard dash faster than me, or you think you're prettier than me, or you think you're cooler than me, or whatever. You've got more money, I've got more money, whoever, whatever. Doesn't matter what the case is when it comes to the great equalizer, which is time. Because you, my friends, my fellow man or woman, have 24 hours in a day. I have 24 hours in a day. You have 7 days in a week. I have 7 days in a week. You have 365 days in a year, 52 weeks. I have 365 days in a year, 52 weeks. Doesn't matter if you went to Harvard and I barely graduated high school. When it comes to time, it's the great equalizer. And that's what I'm talking about. At the beginning of the year, I'm giving you my time. My 33 minutes into this 34 minutes that just changed into 2015 is the same 34 minutes you've had. No one's ahead, right? You're in California. You're 3 hours behind. Oh, well. Okay, whatever. You're 3 hours behind. But you're going to catch up. You know? But guess what? 34 minutes into this new year, you're at the same spot. No one's ahead, no one's behind. Everything's equal up to this point. Now, the minute the clock struck 12 tonight, and we Happy New Year. We popped the bottles. We got the champagne. We got the shrimp cocktail going on. Got these, I don't know what is going on with these things. Look at these. I mean, are you seeing this? Am I the only one that's seeing this? I know you guys on the podcast, you're like, what are you looking at? What are you talking about? You can't see it. You got to go watch the video. Go visit the website. I'm just trying to get some of the water off so I can put this in front of the camera. You go to the salon1.net. That's the number 1.net. Go to the stream. Watch the video. But what I'm looking at here is this strawberry. And I'm trying to get in there to the camera. Can you see this? Now I just told you, right? I just told you I'm 6'4". My hands are pretty big, but as I hold this strawberry up, I mean, these things are the biggest freaking strawberries I've ever seen in my life. I mean, what is going on over here? Look at the wings. Look at the I don't even know what you call this little green thing. I mean, this thing is like, come on, what is this? You see this? This thing is incredible. I mean, these things are huge. And I just watched this program yesterday about the GMOs and, the chemicals they're putting in they're altering the DNA of the food, and so when you plant it, nothing can kill it. Pesticides, herbicides, Roundup, it's all resistant, and it's genetically modified, organisms that they're injecting, and they're changing the DNA. And I'm telling you right now, the DNA, I think, on this damn strawberry's been altered, because this thing looks like it is on some kind of freaking steroids. Look at this thing. I mean, I'm gonna take a bite out of it and see what happens. Oh my God, it's delicious. If it's genetically modified, it's genetically delicious. What are you going to do? I mean, we got champagne, little strawberries. Sounds like a plan to me. But I was watching this thing on these genetically modified organisms. We're all screwed. I mean, they're putting stuff in there. The guy's dropping like napalm on the farm, and the plants are not even phased. It just grows right through it. So the one guy doing the documentaries out there, he's like, you guys are dropping napalm on the food. The food's genetically modified. Means we're going to be genetically modified. Means we're eating the poisons and the pesticides. I don't know. I mean, the farmer's like, yeah, well, we could grow it organic, but we can't grow as much, and we're trying to feed the world. So that's what his thing was. The other guy's like, you could grow enough. He said the amount of food that they're growing is twice as much. Excuse me. Twice as much food as we need for the entire population of planet Earth. So I want you to think about that. We got 7.5 billion people on planet Earth. The farmer's saying that we're producing enough food to feed 14 billion people on planet Earth. So I know we're going over the numbers, and I'm no math genius over here, but I'll tell you what, I do know 14 billion, twice as much as 7 billion, everybody should be fed. Twice. If you're making that much food, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Every time we turn on the television, if you have a television to turn on, you see kids starving. You see people, emaciated. No food, skin and bones. What is going on with that? If we're making enough food because we got the GMOs, right? They got the food that's in. You could drop an atom bomb on it and you can't kill it. And you're able to grow food like that. And he says we're producing twice as much food as we need. And he says we're producing twice per the population enough. We're producing enough food with the special food, with the special genetically modified stuff for 14 billion people. And there's only 7 billion on the planet Earth. Then how do you explain the starvation? How do you explain more than 1% of the population on planet Earth is starving? They're emaciated. They're on the commercials. You've seen them. The little kids, they got you can see their bones. It's what's going on? So I'm watching this thing. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, something's not adding up. Something is not adding up, folks. Unbelievable. And as I was looking at I was thinking about these, the food they're growing it, can grow through anything. I'm looking at these strawberries. I'm like, holy moly, look at this. I wish you guys were here so you could see, the size of these things. They're huge. I'll put this thing in my hand. It takes up almost my entire palm. They taste good. And then the farmer's like, yeah, well, there's no, conclusive evidence that the GMOs are dangerous. So, we and it's kind of like a racket, right? They make the farmers buy the seeds from these places. And then they have no choice. They got to plant it. So the commercial farmers versus the tradition, they call them the traditional farmers. I'm like, traditional? You mean the guys just doing it how it was always done forever and ever and ever? Right? Yeah, traditional. And then they got, there's places out there like Whole Foods. You could okay, guy goes in Whole Foods. All right, I'm going in Whole Foods. I'm getting, I know I'm not going to get poisoned here. And it turns out that, they have foods that have the GMO, come from the GMO as well. So he's like, well, what do you mean? I bought this ice cream. It's all natural. Okay, but then they do the trace back. Okay, the all natural ice cream has milk in it that comes from cows that are fed corn, and that corn is grown from seeds from the Monsantos or whatever other chemical company that's producing these seeds and genetically modifying them. So boom, there you go. So he's feeding the ice cream to his kids. He's like, all right, well, He's like, this is has genetically modified food in it, kids. Is it good? And they're like, yeah, it's delicious. That's the same way I feel about these strawberries. They're unbelievable. They're huge, but they're delicious. So anyway, got off on a little side street there. So happy New Year, everybody. You're rolling with the D, hacking the Bob, hacking the business of beauty. Really just hacking life right now. Hacking this new year. We're already 42 minutes into the new year. It's January 1st, 2015. Thanks for tuning in. Just been going over the numbers, going over the tail of the tape. When you look at the numbers, it's undisputable. The evidence is overwhelming. The hours we're left with to produce. That's what I want you to be thinking about. Tomorrow, right? You're going to wake up, you wipe off your hangover, whatever you're going to do. If you got a hangover, drink a whole bunch of water. You're probably going to, I don't know, what else are you going to do tomorrow? Besides just relax, right? Because most of you have a day off. It's New Year's Day. But what I want you to do, I want you to carve out a little bit of time for yourself. And I want you to work on this equation here. We're talking about the Great Equalizer tonight. We all started. It's not a race, but it's like the year just started for all of us at the exact same time. In 365 days, the only difference between you and me is going to be like where we end up is going to be what we did with these 8,760 hours we just started with all at the same time. Now, when you look to your left and right and you're at the starting line of a race, right, you see the person to your right and left. That's the only time you'll ever see them exactly to your right and left lined up. Because once that gun goes off, once that ball dropped, once that champagne popped, it was game on. It's game on. And you move, right? You might be on a team, you might be part of an organization, but when the year starts, the time starts ticking, your time and what you do with it is going to determine where you end up at December 31st, 2015. So think about it. 44 minutes ago, it was 45 minutes ago, it was December 31st, 2014. Did you end up where you wanted to? Are you where you thought you were going to be? Did you end up in the position you thought you were going to end up in? Did you end up with the health that you thought you were going to end up with? Did you end up with the wealth that you thought you were going to end up with? And did you end up with the relationships that you thought you were going to end up with? That's what I want you guys to be thinking about, because now it's game on, right? We get to reset the clock. January 1st again. It was just January 1st, 365 days ago, 2014. 8,760 hours ago. It was January 1st. We weren't sitting here talking about this because this show didn't even exist then. But I guarantee you, December 31st, 2015, we're going to revisit this equation. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to get you in the right mindset to set this year up for you, so you can crush it. So you can literally, I want you to literally just dominate this year 2015. I want you to dominate this year. I want to be part of it. I'm going to be your chairman for 2015, for your mindset, for your maintenance, for your domination, for your irritation. That's what rolling with the D can be. And that's my pledge to you, to bring you these shows, to completely dominate 2015. That's what we're talking about. How is it going to happen? I'll tell you one thing that needs to be different. It's going to be your approach, how you get it started. I know this past year, 2014, got off to a rough one for me personally. So I was trying to rebalance, reshift, reformulate, recalculate for like the first month or two. So I knew that had to change. I knew that coming into 2015, that had to change. So here we are, 2015. Year's already off to an incredibly different start. I'm feeling amazing. I'm here with you guys. Safe. Feeling healthy. Focused, determined, ready to crush it. And that's what I want for you guys as well. So I wanted to come with this very first show, top of the hour, not wasting any time. I mean, I was literally at 11 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, I was about to shut it down and go to sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I've got to set the pace. I've got to set the tone for 2015. So I had to find my second win. Got up, got moving, got shaking and baking. It's like we're doing a show at the top of the year. We're doing the very first show, 2015, at midnight. We're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball. We're picking it up. We're picking it up at midnight. Boom. Here we are. So it's now 12:48. Happy New Year, everybody. I wanted to come to you with this show and really just talk about, just give you the equation. Give you the performance equation. We're talking about the Great Equalizer. What is the Great Equalizer? It's time. I want you to be thinking about this. Time, as the song says, is on your side. Oh, yes, it is. So think about it. 365 days. You're already in the first, right? 24 hours from now, boom, one day's gone. You're down to 364. Now, what if you found out 49 minutes ago when it was about to turn midnight? What if you found out 49 minutes ago that you had 365 days left to live? What if you just found that new? What if when the ball dropped, when you were kissing some stranger, right? Happy New Year's in somebody in the face, and what if this guy out here, whoever this guy is with the fireworks blowing his pinky off, what if someone told you at the top of the hour, this is where it gets dark. Some of you are probably like, oh my God, I don't know, where's he going with this? What if you were just told you have 365 days to live? Let's take a look at what you got left, and let's think about it. Because every year that you live is the last year that you live. Think about it. That was this past one, that 50 minutes ago, 2014, that was the last 2014 of your life. So it's not that far off from the truth. If someone told you this is the last 2015 of your life, they wouldn't be lying. But what if it was the last year ever of your life? What are you dealing with here? The Great Equalizer, folks. The Great Equalizer. I'm going to be talking about this a lot this year because this is going to be the biggest year of your life. This is going to be the biggest year for your company. This is going to be the biggest year for your personal growth, for your financial growth, for your physical health growth, for your relationship growth. This is going to be the year. But if someone told you that 365, that's what you got, what would you be thinking about? What would you be doing? What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? Who would you start counting on? And who would you start counting out? Got to think about it. This is where it gets real because the new year is here. It's 12:51, 2015. We were already 51 minutes gone. 51 minutes of this year. We're already less than 365 days left in the year. What have you done so far? Even in the first 51 minutes, what have you done so far? Are you working on your mindset? Are you tuning your growth? Are you thinking? Are you planning? Are you anticipating? Because that 51 minutes, it just went by just like that. Time's flying. And I don't know if you noticed, right? But each year, doesn't it seem like, maybe it's just me, but everything moves faster and faster and faster. You know, as society advances and technology advances and new discoveries are made and everything happens faster and faster and faster. Right? It's always about faster, bigger, better. Right? Things that used to take forever to do, now they're happening in minutes and seconds. So I want you to think about the Great Equalizer because the time is still the time. I mean, the 365 days are still the same 365 days, even though they don't seem like it. Seems like 2014 was not, I can't believe it was actually 365 days, but it was. Even though it doesn't seem like it, it flew by. It flew by. I was like, man, it was 2013. Now it's 2014. I'm like, whoa, wait, now it's 2015. We started our company over 5 years ago, and it was just like, it felt like we just got it going a couple of years ago. And here we are 5 years into this thing. I don't know how the last 5 years has been for you, but it went by like almost in an instant. It's crazy. So I wanted to come to you top of the year, the beginning of your year, to talk to you about the Great Equalizer. That's what we're focusing on. looking at this equation, looking at the amount of time that we have, the amount of time, the beautiful thing about time is that it is the great equalizer. It does level the playing field for everybody. For everybody. Whether you're rich or poor, fat or thin, tall or short, black or white or whatever, when it comes to time, we're all equal. I know, all men were created equal. Well, that's not true in a lot of things, because when you see, like the example I was giving earlier about, being, 6'4" and another person's 5'1", well, we're not equal. There's no way. I mean, it's obviously we're not equal. But when you see the amount of time the 6'4" person has and the amount of time the 5'1" person has, we are equal. We are equal. So, I guess in a sense, you could say that all men are created equal if you add on when it comes to time. When it comes to time, we are all equal. But when it comes to a lot of other things, we're not. We're just not. The family that you were born into, if you come from privilege, if you had everything, not everyone's born into that. That's just the way it is. I mean, there's no denying all that. But when it comes to time, even if you were born into poverty or if you were born into fortune, everyone gets the same deal. That's the beauty of time. That's the beauty of time. So when you look at the cards you were dealt, and you're thinking, oh man, it's not fair, and then you start comparing yourself to somebody else, and you're, oh man, they got it made. They got this, they got that. They were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. All that stuff. You're comparing that, but what you need to take a look at is, guess what they were also born with? 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks in a year, 365 days in a year. You got the same amount of time. So what's the problem? We don't ever look at that. We look at, they're more gifted in one area or the other. We don't look at where we're all created equal, which is in the arena of time. So I want you to be thinking about what you're doing with the equality that you have. Are you wasting your equality? Are you wasting the equality that you have? Because if you are, then you've got no one to blame but yourself. You can save the drama, as they say, for your mama. Because when it comes to time, we are all created equal. When it comes to time, there is no special deal. I don't care if you're tall, short, fat, skinny, white, black, Chinese, Asian, whatever you want to say. You speak English, but they got it made because they speak English and I don't, and they speak whatever. And they're smart. I'm not. I can't read. I can't write. Guess what? We're still equal on time. And I think it's a good way to start just setting the mindset for the year, is talking about this equality, because this equality is slipping away as we speak. And before you know it, statistically, it's